Hello, Internet. It is Adam. Today is Wednesday, July 15th, and yesterday was a huge day because this was released. That's right, Go Set A Watchman, the brand new book by Harper Lee. Harper Lee wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, one of the greatest books in American literature history. This is kind of the recently discovered manuscript of the book she wrote first. This is, a lot of people believe, the book that eventually led to Kill a Mockingbird. There's been so much buzz around this. If you've read the news or you've been on social media, you've probably seen in the last few weeks as this book has gotten leaked that it's apparently come out in here that Atticus Finch, one of the greatest characters ever in American literature, ever, apparently maybe not as great as we originally thought. There's some things that come out in this book about him possibly being a racist, going to a KKK meeting, those kind of things. Obviously, those things stand in the face of what we love the most about Atticus, which was kind of his fight for justice, his willing to stand up for people that others wouldn't stand up for. So, I have not finished this yet. I'm a few chapters in, and here's what I would say from what I have read. One, I don't know how you can't read this book. Like, if you are a fan of To Kill a Mockingbird, you have to read Go Set A Watchman. And here's why. Will it possibly reveal things that we don't like about Atticus Finch? Yes. The problem is that we don't get to pick and choose the parts of the story that we love. We have to read the story as told by Harper Lee. She is the teller of the tale, right? And we have to listen to the tale she tells. And it's not just the beautiful parts. We have to be willing to kind of peel back the edges and look at the things that might be a little more ugly. But just being a few chapters in, I will say there are some shockers even in the first chapter. Here's a thought that I have had about possibly this book. Let's remember, To Kill a Mockingbird is told from Scout's perspective. As a little girl kind of looking up to her father, Atticus. This book, Go Set A Watchman, also told from Scout's perspective, but it's a much older Scout who now lives in New York City and is going back to Alabama. As I was talking to Sherry about this, here's kind of what came out of that conversation that I hadn't thought of before, and I haven't seen many people write about. So maybe I'll get through this book and I'll realize that this is totally wrong. But here's possibly my thought. If you were like most kids, when you look at your parents, they are near perfect, right? It's that whole my dad could beat up your dad mentality, where we see our parents in this elevated light. They can do no wrong. They're so great. They're just like the best people. Remember, To Kill a Mockingbird was written from that kind of a perspective, the young child looking up to her father. And so what we saw was this maybe glorified version of what she believed her dad to be as a young girl. Now, 20-some years later, after Scout has moved away, she goes back as an adult. And she starts to see things that maybe young Scout did not see. Things that maybe always were there, but that she didn't realize. Now, I know a lot of people who that's been their story. You know, they thought one thing true about their parents or about a friendship when they were kids, but as they've grown up and moved on and then looked back, they've realized that, oh, things weren't really that way. So that's what I'm wondering. I am wondering if maybe the telling of this story is maybe Atticus isn't a completely different person. Maybe we're just seeing Atticus through the eyes of an older Scout who possibly doesn't have those kid goggles on that oftentimes we look at parents through. Like I said, through a few chapters, I really like it so far. But again, I'm a huge To Kill a Mockingbird fan. I think I might have mentioned this in the first chapter already, kind of a shocker that I did not know happens. So I would get this book. Obviously, it is the biggest book of this year, for sure. Possibly one of the biggest books of the decade I've read. You have to read it. I'm sorry. Like, I know that it might reveal things that we don't like about one of the characters we love the most, but Harper Lee is the one who gets to tell this story, and we have to read what she tells. And she wrote it, whether she wanted it released or not. It's out there. It is published. It is for sale at your local bookstore, so go grab it. I got mine at Barnes & Noble. You can also order it, of course, on Amazon or any of the other fine local establishments. Thank you for watching Hot Button Hashtags. Tell me a couple things. One, what were your first thoughts when you read the reports as they started to leak that Atticus Finch was racist? I remember the first headline I saw that said that, like, it seemed fake. Like, that could not be true. I mean, of all of the literary characters, it's like Ahab, like, being a whale lover. Like, that can't happen, right? Atticus Finch could not be a racist. But perhaps the lens that we are looking through Atticus at in Go Set A Watchman is just a different one. Thank you guys for watching. Thumbs up this video. I don't know what that was. That was like a weird, like, maybe, how about thumbs up this video? Subscribe if you have not, and we will see you guys soon.